We back. Welcome to another episode of the City Boy Show. I'm Javier. That's Danny. What up, bro?
What is up, my good sir?
How
It's
was?
weird not being in the same room as you.
I know, bro. You didn't want to come by. You're a jerk.
Yeah, bro. This New Zealand project got me go. But
Oh
this
my
is it,
goodness, bro.
guys.
Nobody
This is
cares.
it.
Stop talking
people,
about
Yo,
it.
they care, bro. People come to me. This shit. Yo, you on that New Zealand project still?
I
Hear
can
it all the
guarantee nobody
time.
did that. What was I gonna say? So you weren't at the game.
I
You
was in
haven't been at any
Toronto.
games. So you went to a wedding, right?
I went to a wedding. I was in Toronto. I went to go see if Drake was okay, bro.
Yo, they just got shot up, bro. That's crazy. Did you hear about this?
Yeah, a security guard got shot up.
That's
Bro, it's no
insane.
joke. Have you been
You
keeping
you
track
know
of
what
the
you should
beef?
have been doing instead of worrying about Drake, scouting Sean Johnson because we're playing against them.
Yeah, bro, we got like 20 years of scouting Sean Johnson right at home. Why am I gonna go to Toronto for that?
No, I know what you're trying to do. I know what you did. You went back to their field to remember they had like a fire last season, trying to get that fire happening again, get the
Exactly. I
smoke
got a
all over
little.
the place.
I put a little remote in the fire alarm, and I'm gonna press it right at the beginning of the game on the 9th minute.
How's the wedding?
It was good, bro. It was a good wedding.
You dance a lot?
Yeah, it did. Also, it was a Muslim wedding, so there was no alcohol, and
So
I
it was a
still
bad wedding.
partied. And no, it was actually it went really well. Actually, I was gonna sneak in some booze, but I didn't need it. The vibes were high. I feel like a wedding is good if like the people there are, you know what I mean? Like if they have the good vibes, then you have good vibes. You got people who like don't want to be there, and there's like family drama, and the vibes aren't good. I don't care how much booze is there, the vibes ain't good. This was
Nah, I
good
agree.
vibes.
No, I agree. It makes sense. The vibes were good in our NYCFC game. But first, let's start
Yeah.
off with the two team because I'm excited about them. We just saw them play yesterday, bro. This team is doing its thing.
It's doing its thing. I couldn't believe it, bro. I mean, I felt like watching that game, everyone on the Sharks, is that what they were called?
No, the Colorado Switchbacks. I have no
Oh,
idea what the Switchback. You know what's crazy though? We went back to back Colorado teams,
that's crazy.
but we had
But
a
it's
different
funny.
result. What happened?
Yeah, very different results. Exactly. But yeah, so I thought that those switchbacks look like grown men out there, and they were just like, if I saw the height difference, you saw the physicality of that team, and that we still came out with the W was impressive.
It didn't matter. You got a bunch of young kids out there. Yo, Carrizo, bro, he looks so young. And he is so young, but it's just so crazy to see him out there. It's insane. Like, I already feel old covering the NYCFC team. And then you see this NYCFC 2 team, and you're like, damn, you're really old, bro. But yo, we gotta give love to this kid, Jonathan Jimenez. His goal was a nasty. It was a thing of beauty, bro.
Bro, blew through the defenders, did a little move, and then made that goal. I was like, one man show out there, bro.
No, but what was so nasty about it is after he scores the goal, Jonathan Jimenez gives the sign me contract. That is cold blooded, bro. That is just ice cold.
Well, I mean, and he sees it, bro. He was watching the Rapids game on Sunday. He said, "You guys need a striker. Sign me immediately."
No, and the crazy part about all of that is Nick Cushing, Brad Sims, David Lee, they were all at the game. And the place where he was pointing at was exactly where they're at. So it was like a sign to them,
Wow.
like, yo, sign me now. Look at this. He's leading the Golden Boot race right now for the Open Cup. He's got 4 goals and 2 assists. So this
Wow.
kid is dominating.
What do you think from what you're seeing out there, or do you think he would play well on the first team?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to say because when you play with a different team, and you're playing against, let's say, not as great quality, it's hard to determine how good you really are. But I think
Yeah.
there's a point to seeing if it will work out, right?
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't you want to bring someone up who is showing potential to be a dangerous scorer when we're lacking scorers?
That's true.
And you know
And
what's crazy about all this is last season we had the Golden Boot winner in Myers. he got transferred over. Yesterday, he scores a hat trick in Open Cup. So it's like maybe it's time to give these guys a shot just to see what happens. And another whole story to this whole thing is Jovan got his first start ever with an NYCFC team, and it was with the 2 team. And I would say it was a lackluster performance.
Agreed. I get it. I get there's no team chemistry. I get you're out there and you've met these guys 5 minutes ago and it's pickup soccer to you. But what I was confused about was like lack of effort. It felt like he was playing a very like it reminded me a little bit of like Luis Suarez, right? Where he's like stays offside, walks back there, and then just kind of is waiting for the ball to get to him. And I'm like, bro, I don't even know how that game plan works when you've been here for 5 minutes. And I think there were a few times where he just tried to like outskill the other opponent and it wasn't working. Like they were taking the ball from him anyways. So I was a little surprised at his performance. I expected him when I saw him in the starting lineup. I was like, oh my God, he's about to make Cushion look like an idiot for not starting him. And my man's going to score a hat trick. And he looked kind of non-existent out there.
Yeah, I mean, but not knowing the language, first of all, not knowing how this team works, those are not like easy things. Like we can't just say, oh, a player's really talented, he should be dominating. Like this is a team game, so I get that component of it. And I also feel like they weren't really serving him the ball. Like there was a few crosses that were just not there. And like Jovan had no shot to get any of these balls. So it's like, I understand it, but you do want your $8 million, $10 million guy to be the guy out there. And I will say, when Ojeda was out there the last Open Cup game against the Red Bulls, he just looked better than all the other players. While when I saw Jovan out there, I said, like it wasn't like he outshined everybody, but he is playing striker where you need to get served the ball, and he wasn't really being served the ball. So I can't really knock him.
But I feel like if he would have maybe pressed a little bit or try to move back a little bit to get the ball, he could have got himself the ball more, is what I'm saying. And I didn't see that from him.
And I will say, though, like for the NYCFC 1 team, like you need to be pressing, right? And I don't know if this team just didn't want to press. If Jovan didn't press, I don't know if that was part of the tactics, but yeah, if he's going to go into the 2 team, it's going to be like, I mean, the 1 team, you got to be like, hey, you're going to be pressing. Yeah, that's what Munsev's known for, right? Even though he doesn't score the goals. And if you're not going to be the guy who's scoring goals because he hasn't scored any goals yet, then I don't know.
That's so funny, though, that Jovan hasn't played any games yet as a starter and still has as many goals as Munsev.
Damn, shots fired. It is true, though.
That's tough, man. That's tough.
So the crowd was a little light. It was a little disappointing, I'm not gonna lie, because the Red Bull match, the crowd was so into it. But I think it's always those derby matches. But we advanced to the next one, and we're hosting the next one.
We really hosting the next one?
Yes, we're hosting the next match against New Mexico, I believe it is. Yeah, it's New Mexico. They just beat Real Salt Lake. They actually beat an MLS team. So that's gonna be a good one. I'm really hoping a good crowd shows up. I want that kind of magic we had against the Red Bulls.
And I was looking at the brackets right before the game, and I was like, man, if we gotta play Real Salt Lake, that's gonna be tough. But now that Real Salt Lake is out, we really got a chance, man.
That's what I'm saying. Also, we are the last MLS Next Pro team to still be in the tournament.
Do you know, because they won this round, they've made $25,000?
I'm like thinking about it, like, yo, $25,000 to Man City, like just like the ownership. Like, what does that even mean? Where do you even put that money? It's like chump change.
I know.
We just had Jovan, who arguably is making $8 to $10 million. We don't know for sure, but 25,000. It was funny. They were joking in the supporter section, like, this guy gets paid more than your whole team.
Yo, Jovan got paid more than $25,000 to put on his shoes yesterday, bro. I mean, think about
it. Yo, Jovan looks like a running back out there, bro. He is like muscular. He's a big dude.
I wonder if that's gonna slow him down, bro. I mean, I guess not. Look at Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley's ripped, and my man is super
Bro,
fast.
nothing slowing down those calves, bro. He's got massive calves, bro.
He was walking out there though. I heard he might have caught an injury. Like supposedly, yeah, that's a storyline too, right? They say he didn't play Sunday because he got a bit of a knock. But then he shows up to this game and plays, but he doesn't play well. So did he have a knock? And it's just like, let's put him out there to scare the other
Well, I
team.
will say so. A couple times he got down and he was slow to get up. I was actually scared. I'm like, yo, we just spent $10 million on this guy. You better not have gotten knocked up an open cup. So, but yeah, was this their plan all along? Was it to have Jovan come in this game? I don't know. I don't think so. I think maybe he got a knock, but it wasn't serious enough to start Sunday or be on the bench Sunday. I don't know. That's a little weird. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
And then it goes to this whole conversation about his grandma, and what Blue Balls tweeted out. Do you have that tweet? Can you read it? What his grandma said?
Let me look for it because I did not think we would do that. So I am going.
Okay, basically his grandma said, because we're horrible journalists, we're gonna summarize it and say it completely wrong. His grandma basically said that she thinks Nick Cushing favors Munsef, and that's why he's not.
I found it.
Use the actual words, please.
This is
she put this
Blue
on
Balls
Instagram.
translation. We don't know if he used Google Translate, if he's just fluent in whatever language Jovan speaks.
Well, yeah, if Trey did his Spanish translation that he did to us sometimes, that's gonna be a pretty bad translation.
But is it Jovan obviously isn't as likable to the coach as Bakra, whom he brought in. That's why he's not giving him the opportunity to show the great talent he has. I like, and then yeah. So that is what I heard. I also, we have a source that I think also says that Cushing definitely has like favored players, and so
I mean, do you even need a source for that? Isn't everybody gonna have your favorite person, favorite buddy?
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, like, it's interesting because you have a lot of depth in this like team, and you always wonder, like, how do you choose the starters? You know, we are big Munsef supporters. That Munsef started that game was kind of crazy to me.
True, but if that goes to the storyline that Jovan was injured, is that why he started?
Well, according to his grandmother, he wasn't injured. Right?
Well, we don't know if the grandma didn't know about the knock.
When do grandmas ever lie, bro? They got nothing else to live for. I mean, that she's on social media is crazy.
Yo, you are disrespectful. Nothing else to live for?
I'm just saying.
God damn, bro.
She's a grandma. She ain't gonna lie. Also, I'm pretty sure this is Instagram. I've never seen one grandmother with Instagram. Isn't that crazy?
Yo, I respect that, actually.
That's insane, bro. Maybe she's one of those young grandmas.
Oh, maybe she's a hot grandma. No, all right, this is getting weird.
But I do find it interesting. Well, I mean, honestly, is it Jovan or Jovan? I say Jovan like he's Jay-Z all the time.
I like Jovan, so go with Jovan. I think it's Jovan.
I know it is Jovan, but let's go Jovan. Yeah, we should just start putting Jay-Z phase over him. Remember I forget what that's called, Black Rock. But yeah, I think. I mean, if Jovan is playing as uninterested in, if he's practicing the way he played on the NYCFC 2 team, though, I get why he's not getting minutes, right? If he's uninterested, if he's like, why am I here? And he's like, I'm too good for this, then of course you're not going to get minutes. But it's tough when you don't have another striker that's scoring goals. A true striker.
Yeah, and then it goes back to the whole Alonso Martinez conversation. Should he have started? I think this just leads us into our next conversation. NYCFC 2, clap it up. You guys killed it. Awesome stuff.
Yes.
Keep progressing, man. It's honestly been making the Open Cup run games so fun to watch. So I'm excited to see what they do, but I think it's let's move on to our next game.
And one more thing I just want to add there. Next round, I will not be on this New Zealand project. So I will be at the game because I
Thank you for
know the fans care, the team cares, and my project will be done and I will be there.
Wow, interesting story, bro. Thank you. Nobody care. So going into this Rapid games, we were hot. I was feeling good. Everybody was feeling good. This team is back. And then the tailgate vibes were high. I came with my daughter. It was fun. Did you freeze? Bro, oh, you have like a weird face when you're just listening to something. I swear you froze, bro. You look frozen when somebody's talking to you, bro. Did you know that?
I'm trying to be natural, right? I'm trying to be like a news reporter, just standing and listening.
This was my daughter having the time of her life. It was awesome. She had a good time. It was
That
freezing though,
jersey's
cold.
fire. Where'd you get that jersey?
Didn't you? You gave me this jersey.
Oh, did I? Okay.
I think it didn't fit Solomon anymore.
Oh, okay. Fire
I
jersey.
think, or
Good
I might have
taste.
bought that. I actually want that jersey. I was so mad. I need that jersey. I want the baby blue one. I really need to upgrade my jersey game.
You really
All
do.
all my jerseys are too tight. That's the problem.
You gotta lose weight. That's the problem,
No,
really.
I gotta stop buying them off DH Gate, and like they say extra large and they're extra small. I don't know what's up with these people in Thailand, but these sizes be crazy.
Yeah, you've been lucky, bro. I've put in like 3 gate orders this year. I haven't gotten any of them. They all got canceled.
Damn, did you get your money back?
Yeah, they actually give it back to you.
Oh, nice.
3 months later, I think they make interest off your money and then they give it back. That's what they do.
So going into it, I was excited. It was rainy. It was cold. It was definitely a light crowd. I mean, there was not many people, which I don't blame them. It was a Sunday. It was cold. It was 4 o'clock, but definitely light crowd this game. And then the game happens, and we were struggling, man. We started off struggling early, and then we give the goal in the 16th minute to Rafael Navarro, which I felt like it was kind of like one of those goals where like Micha probably should have been a little tighter. Like those are one of those goals where you can't give them the lead early because then it falls into their game plan of okay, now we're behind, and now when NYCFC is behind, that's when you can really start taking control of the game.
Agreed.
Thank you for that. I would also like you to discuss conversations.
Well, I would say yes. Giving up the goal, super demoralizing. And then on top of that, like you mentioned, we've seen consistently that teams try to, play that low block, try to get more compact in the box and go, you try to beat this. And we've struggled with that a lot. And you saw it again in this game, right? The players after that goal got more compact in the box, and then it was us trying to break that defense. And as you know, we didn't. So yeah.
And the crazy thing is, if you look at the stat line, which the stat line here is kind of crazy because like it looks like we dominated this game, but if you look at the actual game, we did not dominate this game. We had 67% whoa. We had 67% possession of the ball. They had 33%. We had expected goals of 1.26 to their 0.63. We had 16 total shots versus their 9. So it's like those stats, you're like, oh, yeah, we dominated. But none of our chances were really that dangerous. We had 3 shots on target, but I felt like I can't even remember those shots on target, which is the crazy part. That's how you knew it was not a really dangerous game for NYCFC.
Agreed. And I also think you saw that the team was getting a bit frustrated with the inability to like get those chances and score in the box. And it felt like a bit of a regression from the team from what we've seen in the past, where they've kind of pushed it mentally through and stayed mature and was like, no, we'll figure this out. It felt like the second half of the first half, I guess, they looked like they were making some opportunities, turning things around. But then the second half, it looked like they were just getting frustrated and you just and couldn't get chances out there.
Yeah. And I mean, we didn't even talk about it, but he took out Julian Fernandez for Wolf to start the game. And then kind of kept everybody out. So Ojeda stayed. What were your thoughts on that?
I mean, I was surprised. Honestly, I was like I said, I was surprised Munsef got the start. I thought, you've given this guy multiple opportunities. He talked about how Alonso Martinez is becoming a striker for the team. And so yeah, it was a little surprising to see Munsef out there again. I enjoy Wolf, honestly. I thought his play in general is good for kind of the rest of the team, what he brings. Unfortunately, it didn't lead to goals, so maybe it was wrong. Maybe it should have kept Julian out there.
Well, no. Well, my whole thing is why not put Ojeda on the bench and bring Julian Fernandez, and then you will move Wolf to the other side. I kind of like I kind of still like Wolf out there, but I thought Ojeda is one of those guys that when the team's not flowing, he's not flowing. You know what I mean? He doesn't really bring anything extra that really can help this team out when things aren't going well. While Julian, we know Julian, he's a dangerous scorer. He can make his own chances, and this game required somebody who can make their own chances because that final third we just weren't connecting, and they had everybody in that box.
Yeah, I think something I keep hearing is like your boy Cushing is all about like
He's not my boy. Stop calling him my boy. I don't hate him, but he's not my boy. We don't talk like I don't text him every day.
But Cushing is like really about like what's the word I'm looking for? Like continuing the progression of these players and like watching them grow. And I think he's always like, feeding patience, and we got to let these players grow into their talents. So I wonder if what he's doing is like picking players with the highest ceiling and giving them the minutes, thinking that they could be the best team by the end of the year. You know what I mean? And so that's something where I think about. Well, like we talked about it last week with Jason, and I think you're kind of seeing it with Ojeda. Like Ojeda is definitely the fastest player on this team, probably, and so he brings a lot of pace. He has a lot of skills, and so do you keep giving him minutes? So then when September comes around, if we're in the playoff run, you have a super talent there. Versus maybe he thinks Julian is who Julian is, and so Julian might be like a super sub versus someone who's the talent on the team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, do you think Julian's as good as GP was? Because in my opinion, no.
I think they're kind of like the same caliber player, but yes, I do think GP probably had a little more upside because he brought a little more. He was a little more dynamic on the field.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean to say that I don't think Julian is going to keep progressing. So I think the thought of like, oh, we have players who have a higher ceiling, so I'm always going to start them. I don't think that logic makes sense.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's what his thought process is. But I mean, I guess if you just look at this game, you might start thinking the same thing because in the 55th minute, he makes 3 subs. He brings in Pereira, Malachi, who we've been talking about, that upside and that progression, and Tavon Gray. And yeah, Malachi had a couple dangerous opportunities. Tavon, credit to Tavon. He was dishing the ball in the box. He had, I think, one of our highest FOTMOB ratings with 7.1 because he was like, for all the knocks we have on Tavon about not being able to like be an offensive threat, he was an offensive threat, and he crossed the ball over a couple times that were accurate and exactly where they needed to be. And Malachi probably should have finished one of those. And one person we haven't mentioned yet is Thales Magno was on the bench. Okay, I get, and this is not to say I don't know if Thales should have came in the 55th minute, but maybe towards the end of the game when you need somebody to score, maybe he comes in. But I guess, are you okay with Malachi coming in over Thales Magno, let's say? And it's not a like for like sub. It doesn't have to be, but
yeah. I think that's tough. I love Malachi Jones, but I do think I guess if Magno was in form, right, and he's had minutes, I would definitely say it should be Magno over Malachi Jones, right? At this point, Malachi Jones is still really young. He's not refined. And I just don't know what it would be to put Thales Magno out there. And Thales Magno was expecting to get there. We did hear that if they were up that he was expected to come in as a late sub to get some minutes. So I think on the 55th minute, no, I think that's too soon, right? You can't put in him to play 35 minutes, 40 minutes. That seems like a lot. But I agree with you that it may be later in the game you put him in.
Yeah.
But why not?
I think one of the reasons he probably didn't come in, it was rainy. The field was terrible. Like if you look at that infield, it was atrocious. I don't know what was going on, why our field looked so bad. I mean, I get it, we play on a baseball field, but it looked particularly worse this game, and I don't know why. Maybe they were using like the old grass from this. They're like, oh, they're gonna have their games coming in later, so we don't have to worry about it now.
Gotcha.
But it was a bad looking field. But yeah, shout outs to Tavon because he fed the ball. Tallis, I mean, I think Tallis has to start getting minutes soon, right? I mean, if he's finally back in form, I don't even know how that's gonna work with all these wingers though.
I don't know. I mean, we love spending money on people and not playing them. And he's our DP. You know, something that came up last week was kind of the roster and like their designation. Remember the DP
The
spot and
list.
everything like that's not. And it just reminded me like, yo, Talis Magno's taking a DP spot. And we haven't seen him. I mean, I get it. He was injured, but I think we got to see more Magno, man. I think he could really end up very, very lightly did we see sprinkles of Moonsef and Magno out there. And that's when Moonsef played the best last year. I'd just like to point that out because he was taking a lot of the attention from the defense. I know people hate on Magno, but the man can do some magical stuff out there. And so I think remember, I mean, if you remember a lot of last year, Magno was double teamed because people were so scared of him. So if you got Magno out there, maybe you give some space to Moonsef and then he can do things, or another striker, right? So I think you got to get Magno out there as soon as possible.
That's a great point though, and I don't know how much is actually coming. No, but wasn't Magno benched at times though? Regardless, I think you're right. Like Magno, when Munsef was having his best ball, Magno was playing the wing, but I don't remember if they really had much chemistry on the field.
I remember like we were upset. He kept playing Magno and Munsef as striker. He wouldn't have him on the pitch at the same time. But the very limited times they did play on the pitch together, they played well. We kept asking for more of it.
Got it. That makes sense. And then Alonso Martinez comes in the 65th minute. And I don't know, I kind of feel like he faded into the background, which is kind of like the knock against Alonso Martinez, right? Like, is he this real striker? We know he can finish his chances, but is he the guy to like really take this position if it's not Jovan, right? Because we haven't seen Jovan yet. We've definitely paid a lot of money, so I think the point is that we get Jovan to that point, but can Alonso kind of facilitate it till Jovan gets to that point?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm surprised. I don't get how we make the same mistakes again. And I think trying to take a player that's not a striker and turning them into a striker seems like a scary proposition versus having him play. Like, why didn't he come in as a wing and then you put Jovan as the striker? Why is it that he has to be a striker now? And I think,
well, I mean, we have like 20 wingers. That's why. So I don't know how Alonso gets in there with all these wingers that we have, and then we're getting Talles Magno back. So I see that.
But it's hard, man. It's hard to take a guy who's been playing the left wing and right wing and say you're a striker now. Like, I think, unless you've been playing that position for a long time, do you end up just being lost in the sauce, man, and just not like and become irrelevant?
Well, you got to like, but to the point, I think Nick Cushing is definitely trying to make him more into a striker. I think he said that in one of his press conferences.
He did, but like, does that make sense?
I mean, it probably makes sense for this roster, but does it make sense overall? Like, is he going to progress in that position? He's deadly with his finishing. That is true. So I mean, if he has that instinct, that's a good thing, right? That's what you want from your striker. Can you work on the other things like spacing, like pressing and all that? Like, I think that's stuff that can be taught if he already knows the deadly part of it, which is scoring goals.
I mean, logic kind of stands, but I would say, like, you know who was super deli at finishing? GP. We never played him as striker.
True, but he was he was predominantly left-footed, so you kind of, I don't know. I think that kind of plays a role too.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I had a point, and now you made me lose it with the GP. You've been talking about GP a lot
I
today.
miss him, bro.
Oh, what was I gonna say? I forgot.
Alonso Martinez not being natural striker, or maybe he was a striker. Was he a striker in the past, and I just
No,
don't
no,
know
no. He
this?
wasn't a striker in the past. He's always played the wing.
Then I don't know what you were
No, no,
gonna say.
no. Oh, one of the points I was gonna say was Thales Magno never was that deadly finisher, right?
Correct.
So we tried to transition him to be a number 9 when he never was that. So now Alonso is that guy who could finish, but doesn't have the other stuff that a striker has right now.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, yeah, that project failed for Thales, but maybe it can work for Alonso. And this can all not matter if Munce starts scoring goals and Jovan shows that he's also going to be the guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if that's not the case and we're going to field out Alonso more in the 9, then I think what we just discussed is kind of what's going to happen.
I got a question for you, theoretical here.
What?
Would you rather see them develop Alonso to become this potential striker, or would you rather they sign JJ?
Ooh, I like this question. I like JJ. You know what? I just want to see guys get signed from the 2 team to make an impact. So I'm not opposed to seeing if these guys, like, I think it's a good testament to see like the level of next pro, right? And like if they can transition to the NYCFC main, like, 1 team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would like to see JJ. Let's see it. I mean, what does it hurt?
Yeah.
Especially when we're struggling at that position. But I get it. You've signed guys for massive contracts. It feels like it would be weird to be like, nah, we're gonna bring in this 2 guy instead.
Gotcha.
But if the guy's scoring, he's scoring.
Yeah.
But what I think is they don't value the 2 team as much, right? Because if you had a Golden Boot winner last year in Myers who won the Golden Boot for the 2 team, why would you not have seen what he looked like with the 1 team? Especially last year when we didn't have a striker for most of the season. Munsif came in very late. So I don't think they're putting too much value into their 2 team and saying, hey, look, we think these guys could be that guy. You know what I mean?
That's a good point. Where did Myers go? He's playing for a USL team, right?
Yeah, USL team. I think it's Charleston Battery or something like that.
Gotcha.
So I don't know.
That's a really good point. Jimenez is a bit of an older player too, right? JJ?
Nah, I think he's young. I'm looking it up. Fill in time.
You know what? How I'm gonna fill time. I realized that I didn't put on screen mirroring, so every time I'm looking at you, I think I'm looking the opposite side of that, which is kind of hilarious.
Wait, so am I looking at you wrong now?
No, you're looking at me right, but am I looking at you right? Like, I'm looking at you right now on the screen, but am I actually looking at you on the camera?
I have no idea. Bro, you're looking at the computer. What are you talking about?
This is me buying time.
It actually worked. He's 23 years old. Good job, bro. Oh, man. Okay, moving on. We play Toronto.
Toronto's actually turned things around. We played Toronto earlier in the year, right? And I think we beat them.
Yeah, we beat them 2-1.
But bro, they are 3rd place in the conference.
No way, really?
Bro, 19 points, right behind Cincinnati and Inter Miami. 6 wins, 1 draw, 4 losses.
Wow.
These guys, what a coach can do to a team. Well, they ended last in the league last year, right?
They were awful last year. Awful, awful, awful.
Bro, and now I think they're in the top 10 power rankings as per MLS, and your boys are killing it. And
And,
the last
I
game
think
they
they've
played,
kept the
3-1 over
most,
Dallas.
and this is credit to our ex, Sean Johnson. They've kept the most clean sheets with 5 clean sheets.
Wow.
So also another thing, more motive for them and more motive for Sean Johnson playing against us. This will be his 100th career clean sheet if he gets it. So like a little
Wow.
incentive for him. I hope we beat him down. I hope we score 4 and make it that there's no opportunity for him to get a clean sheet.
Damn, I didn't know you were a Sean Johnson hater.
Bro, I'm a hater whoever's not on our team. And right now, Sean Johnson isn't in our team.
No, it would be terrible if he got his 100th clean sheet against us. So I'm definitely anti clean sheet.
But I mean, I think we're in good hands. We've won 3 in a row against them, so we've been beating them down. But that goes into last year where they were a shell of themselves. They were a really bad team last year.
Yeah, and I would also say that we are not fantastic offensively, but I think defensively we've gone. You know what? It's something that you said on the other that I forgot to throw in at the end was Tavon Gray. Would you start Tavon Gray? Tavon Gray, every time we've seen him, we've only seen him for like flashes in a game, but he's so solid. Not only he's perfectly solid on defense, but he's also showing flashes of like brilliance on offense too. Maybe that's a strong phrase, flashes of brilliance, but he's playing actually very solid on offense. So like now you got 2 really strong wingers with Bernadeschi and the other guy. What do you do? Do you keep Micha out there? I mean, he's the one playing the games, or do you go and start Tavon Gray?
I don't know. Micha's still been having. I mean, granted, I do kind of knock him a little for that last goal early in the game against Colorado Rapids. Felt like he could have really closed in on the attacker there, but I feel like Micha's still playing well, and I feel like Micha's kind of earned himself that spot. But like you're saying, Tavon, we know is great defensively, and if he's really starting to bring his offensive game up there too, then he becomes the complete package, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's not a definitive Tavon lost the job, but I think it's Micha's right now, but that can always change. And games like he just had against Colorado Rapids could be those games where the tide is starting to shift a little, right?
Yeah.
I like both of them so much that I just wish they could both be out there at the same time.
I know, me too,
because
man.
like they're both really likable guys. Tavon was at the Open Cup game yesterday, actually.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he was chilling.
You sure it wasn't his brother?
No, Kayvon was there too. But it was not funny. The supporters crew was like, Tavon. And then I don't know who it was. It could have been Kayvon shows up right behind. But what if they were all ruling for Tavon, but it was actually Kayvon? They're twins, right?
They're twins, yeah. That would have been real bad if they weren't twins.
The funny part is they called them Tavon and Kayvon. Like, you can't get any closer in names. The only way it could have gotten closer is like if you had the letters closer to each other from the alphabet, like Savon. It's hilarious. If who would you roll out as your starting 11 against Toronto? Because you just mentioned that you might want to see Tavon out there. Do you change anything from last week?
I think I would put Tavon Gray out there. I think I'd give Tavon a chance. I miss him. And I love Munsev, man, but I think you got to do something different up there. You got to sit Munsev. I don't know who you put in, honestly. You can't even put in Jovan anymore, can you? Because he played?
Well, yeah, he's going to have tired legs. He played the full 90. Granted, he didn't really
walked
run
the whole
much.
time, so it won't be that tired. No, but I thought there was a rule, like if you played X amount of minutes in a 2 game, you can't play X amount of minutes in a starting.
But how does that also work with Open Cup? And I don't know, but I don't also think that's true because Malachi came in on a
That's true.
once for one team and then played the 2 team on the Open Cup like a couple days later.
That's true.
I mean, I don't know the exact rules, but I think he can still play.
Gotcha. Yeah,
Will
I
he
guess.
play? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I agree with you. The Bakrar, look, we've given him enough time, enough sample time to say, here's your goal. Go get it. You do everything else right. Just get that goal. And he didn't do it again. And I think the frustration is starting to boil over for him, which can affect his game too. Maybe it's time you give him a little sit and say, hey, look, regroup, refocus, and then you could come back in later. Or you're coming in as a sub, get a goal that way. Then you have some momentum, right?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe give him a couple weeks off, make it like a movie. He goes to his country, he meets his old man. Old man says, it's ball is life. And then it clicks in his head and he goes and makes 10, 17,000 goals. He needs a break, man. He needs a mental reset.
Yeah, I know he had a mental mistake, I would say, last game. I wouldn't even. It's a silly one, and I think the refs are a little dumb for this one. But like he didn't get off the field in the 10 seconds allotted, which then gave the other. They didn't let Alonso come in for 2 minutes, so that affected how long Alonso could come. I mean, we were playing with 10 men for 2 minutes, basically. So and you could tell Bakrar was frustrated. He looked upset. He was annoyed. And it kind of felt like the whole team. Well, it felt like him and Santi were kind of in the same wavelength. But I think giving Bakrar a bench next game, putting him in the bench, and I guess Alonso Martinez, for now until Jovan, we see more from him. But I would go with Wolf back in, Julian back in, and then go from there because we had Ojeda and Wolf, but I'd prefer Julian and Wolf, and then we have Alonso Martinez, and then I'd keep the rest of the same lineup.
Gotcha. All right, let's see what they do. Just so we got the odds for this game, it is Toronto plus 175 to win. The ties plus 240, and for NYCFC to win is plus 140. So New York City's kind of still slightly favored, and the under 2.5 is negative 104 for the. I'm sorry, over 2.5 is negative 104. The under is negative 118.
I'm broke. I'm at $0 right now, so I have to re-up my account. I'll re-up my account by $50, but
nice.
I'm in $0, so I'm negative $100 right now, bro.
That's crazy.
I am struggling. The over 2.5 did not hit last week.
I mean, I lost my bet too, but I only bet $25.
What was your bet again?
It was both teams to score.
Got it.
I had doubts about us beating the Rapids, so
we'll update the chart for you guys next episode. We were lazy this episode.
Yes, correct.
I'm gonna go with a draw. $25. Might lose that one too because we're on the road, and it's been a while since we've been on the road, and this team scares me on the road.
I think I'm gonna go with the under 2.5. You got Sean Johnson playing, you got Matt Freese playing, the best goalkeeper NYCFC ever had, with the best goalkeeper NYCFC might ever have.
Ooh,
wow. Out of that line.
You really gonna play Sean Johnson? That's a great line, but that's a terrible thing to say.
I'm just saying,
cup, bro.
If Matt Freese keeps playing like this, bro, I mean, he has such little clean sheets, but in general, he's such a good goalkeeper. I believe in him, man. I think he could be long term on this team. We'll see.
All right. So, what's your final score prediction?
I'm gonna go 1-1.
So, I think I was gonna do the same thing. 1-1. No, yeah. You know what? I'm going 0-0. Nobody scores. Our offensive woes, their offensive woes. Maybe it'll be a 0-0 game.
Okay. Let's see what happens.
Any final words? We're finally on the road. It's been a while since we've been on the road.
I know. I'm like sad, but I'm happy at the same time. I need a little bit of a break.
Wifey was gonna kill me like 6 weeks in a row. This is crazy, bro. And then I went to an Open Cup game, and she's like, "I'm done with you."
But we get to go to an Open Cup game in 2 weeks. I'm so hyped for that. I've been jealous of you going to all those
Wait, you
games.
got the schedule for that?
I saw that the thing was like May 24th or something, the next round.
Gotcha.
But
I wanted to give one shout out.
okay.
Yesterday at the Open Cup game, this guy stopped me and he's like, "Hey, I listen to you all the time," and I was like, "Cool, thanks, man." And then he was like, "You guys really got me through some hard times." And it's like, and he, he had some deaths in the family, and he's like, listening to you guys and the other pods really like help. And it's like, we're two idiots talking about soccer, but like to hear that type of story is like, damn, that's awesome. Like,
Yeah,
and
that's
it
awesome.
motivates me to keep doing the pod, even when today I did not want to do a podcast. But got me a little teary eye when he said, I'm like, damn, that means a lot, man. It pushes me to want to do better.
That's awesome. Oh, thanks for showing. Anytime you guys show love, we really appreciate it. So keep showing us love. I know sometimes we just hang out with each other, just isolated in a corner, but it's because we're shy. So just come chill with us. We're down. Also, shout out to Robert Downs. He sent us the stickers and he
Oh,
sent this
yes.
letter.
We
So
will.
shout out to him.
We got to update the stickers on our thing.
Oh yeah, we do. We got to include his sticker. Also, we owe him a sticker, so I got to go send him a sticker. So my bad, homie. We'll get that out to
you.
You.
Promised a lot of people stickers, bro.
Bro, you're playing the music. I felt like there was another thing, another story,
Go. How many stories you got to tell?
but I can't remember it
Because of the song?
No. I was trying to buy time so I could remember there was another big thing that came up. Oh yes. So we were talking about Mooncef and the rule and the new rules, right? And the 2 minutes, he was off for the 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Did you see them calling the play against the purple team? Did you see this?
Oh, where they're only gonna go by colors?
No, I think he just didn't know, bro, because then he said it like 10 seconds later.
No. But keep going, sorry.
So if you guys don't know, it was who was it? Was it Cincinnati or Orlando? It was a purple team.
Cincinnati, I think, versus Orlando.
And they were playing they did VAR, and now when they call a foul and they're checking something, they're actually going to announce it like an NFL game. So that's one of the new rule changes, which is exciting because when you're at a game or even on TV, you're like, I don't know what the call is. I don't know what they're reviewing. I think it's a really cool idea and really interesting to see. So then they go and they review VAR. Ref comes out and he goes, call it a foul, purple team. Bro, that is so hilarious. They couldn't name the team.
No, but that's an initiative, right? To make it easier for people to understand or like for them to call it. So that's
the colors.
Yeah, they want to tell them to call it by the colors. But then he also didn't follow it because then he later said Cincinnati. It is the dumbest thing ever. Why would you make it colors? I have no idea. And then somebody was like, I forgot who has a like funky jersey where they're two colored jerseys basically. Like, what the hell are you gonna say in that point? Green, purple?
And what if you're colorblind?
I guess. Well, I don't think you could be a colorblind ref, bro. How do you call a yellow and a red card?
What about the people who are watching the game who are colorblind, dummy?
Wait, now I'm really curious. Has there ever been a soccer player who's been colorblind and didn't know if he got a yellow or red card? Or
he's like, no, we're good. We're good.
Or what about anybody who's yo, if you're colorblind, you can't watch soccer, bro. I would be like, nah, did he lose? Is he out the game? Was that a red card or a yellow card? All right, yo. I think that's our cue. Let's get the hell out of here.
All right, peace.
Peace.